Good evening, folks. Thank you for joining us today on Kbuty Radio, 71.1 FM. And we are on America's #1 beauty talk show. So today we are going to basically, because I get these questions a lot, and of course I'm going to bring it to my audience on these kinds of questions. I got an email, we'll just call her Mrs. Anonymous, asking me, Dear Kimberly, and I'm just going to read it briefly and then kind of give you my answer so that we can have an understanding of the difference between an agent and a manager. So she writes me and she says, Dear Kimberly, my name is Anonymous Beauty, #1, and I have been fumbled because I don't know whether I need an agent, a manager, a publicist, or whether or not I should be getting paid to be in magazines. Okay, so let me stop there and go ahead and answer this question. Now, Anonymous Beauty, #1, unless you are a famous, well-known model, like a Kylie Jenner or a Kendall Jenner or a Gigi Hadid or Bella, or an Iman Chanel, or Chanel Iman, I could be saying her name backwards, or a Haley Baldwin, with a major following and your face being everywhere, you have a lot of tabloid PR, I can't see a magazine paying you to be in that magazine. Now, having said that, unless you're signed with a major modeling agency like IMG or like a Wilhelmina Models or a Ford, again, I cannot see you getting paid just yet. Now, having said that, I'm not saying you can't get paid, but don't expect to get paid in magazines, for magazines like Vogue and Glamour to feature you, unless, again, you are being repped by a major company. Now, that's not to say that you cannot get in Vogue or Glamour or any one of those major Condé Nast magazines or Hearst magazines. And it's always good to know and be educated on who runs what magazine. Example, and I'm going to get to your question, I'm going to answer everything. So, for example, Condé Nast is Glamour, Vogue, Vanity Fair, Brides, The New Yorker, GQ, Teen Vogue, Allure, Bon Appetit, and so forth and so on. Now, that's Condé Nast. Now, when you're talking about Hearst, which I consider as a competition to Condé Nast, you think Marie Claire, Cosmopolitan, Ellie, 17, Own, Martha Stewart, Esquire, Red Book, I believe. I think Red Book as well. I mean, it's a huge, huge publishing house. So that's Hearst. And then, of course, you have the people that run Closer and OK and Life and Style. That's another company. Then you have TMZ, and you have Radar Online, and you have Perez Hilton, and you have Just Jared. And those are all major blogs and websites and news sources that do and focus mainly on tabloid type of celebrity. And you have celebrities, and then you have stars. And when you think stars, Jennifer Lopez is not only a celebrity where she's well known, but she's a star. Tom Cruise is a star. Cameron Diaz is a star. A lot of stars think Hollywood Walk of Fame, think, you're commanding $15 million a picture, or if you're a star or a major modeling celebrity, you want to think, anyone like Kate Moss or Adriana Lima, which, Kate Moss's 2015 earnings alone was $4.5 million, and Giselle Bundchen, basically Tom Brady's wife. I'm saying her name wrong. I hate butchering people's names. Her 2015 earnings alone was $44 million, and she was found in a mall in Brazil. And then, of course, you have Adriana Lima. 2015 alone, her earnings was $9 million. So, and she rose to fame from a Ford modeling competition. And then if Carly Kloss, 2015 earnings is $5 million, was spotted on charity fashion show. So, but these women are a part of, I just said, Ford. If you're an unknown, no, I'm not going to pay you to be in Glamour magazine. Now, let's talk about, publicity, the difference with publicists, difference with agents, and the difference with managers. So, basically, let's break this down. There are so many unwritten rules, not to mention the scams that ruin the dreams of many potential models. However, going into a modeling career armed with the knowledge will help you minimize the confusion and maximize the success. Many beginning models mistakenly think that model agent and model manager and PR are the same things, and they're not. They do things. They have a common goal, which is you, the model, but they are different, but in a similar way, and I'll break that down. The best way to explain the differences is to tackle the job responsibilities separately, giving models a good idea of those differences. So when models are scouted, found, or walk into a local agency, the model's professional abilities are analyzed from physical characteristics such as age, height, body structure, and facial features, and personality. Once convinced, which again, they're in an agency, that the model has the potential to work in the modeling industry, a general plan will be laid out, and a contract of representation will be offered to the model. Now, the model has to be also able to make that agency money. Now, remember, that agency makes money for you. So the agency will get 20% of what the model makes, and the agency gets 20% of whatever the agent, from their contract from that person. So say, for instance, Wilhelmina Models gets you a job from Guess. You get, say $10,000 check from Guess. I'm just, giving you an example. I'm not giving you factual figures. You get $10,000. Well, the agency is going to get 20% of that. And then the agency also charges Guess 20% for bringing you to them. So the agency gets paid on both ends. That's what an agency does. So I want to break that down. They work on commission. You don't pay an agency to represent you up front. And I don't want you to get that confused with what a publicist does, and we'll get into that in a moment. So basically, again, like I stated, if the model is a minor, I even stated that before, but if the model is a minor, of course, the contract will be shared with the model and her parents and legal guardians. The agreement will be headed as management agreement or mother agency agreement or personal management agreement or finding the right agent agreement. So these contracts give model managers the right to represent the model and introduce the model to model business partners such as model agents, clients, photographers, designers, and editors, et cetera, et cetera. And I hope that made sense. So once signed, that agency company becomes, your agency that gets you jobs. So a modeling agency gets you jobs. Now, a manager, they focus more on managing your career, like arranging auditions. They keep in touch with the agents to ensure a shared vision for the model is being, mapped out. But a manager stays mostly on the management end of the model's career. Sometimes a model manager may set up an audition, but that is not their focus. A model manager will not guarantee auditions for a role. Securing auditions is a model agent's job. But your manager, who may be able to possibly managing your flight, managing your schedule, managing your bills, things like that. Model managers' jobs include, scouting, introduction, and guidance of the model to the model business, development of the model, including the initial model portfolio or digital photos to be introduced to a partner or model agent and clients, public relations companies, and they help to make a career plan and keep the model on the path toward success. Managers kind of juggle the model business, professional demands, placements with the right partner, retail agencies, and model agents, travel documents, visas, contracts, and appearances that come with a prominent model career. So a manager basically manages you. Agents get you jobs. Managers are not regulated, nor are they required to have a license. So remember that. So be careful who you're making your manager. Under law, managers may not, in some countries or states, procure employment for models, artists, or negotiate without a licensed agent, okay? And any person who renders agent services without a license may have their contract invalidated and be forced to relinquish any commissions paid. So make sure that the agency is licensed, ladies, okay? So a model agent works for a retail model agency where they use their contacts in the industry to arrange auditions for the models represented by the agency. Again, AKA Ford's, Wilhelmina Models, IMG, et cetera, okay? Models need a model agent to supply job opportunity. A model's agent is able to provide a model with auditions that would not otherwise the model would know about. So without the appropriate modeling auditions, a model's career will go nowhere, basically. In addition to, if you are a star or if you're seen and known in major news sources and you have a big following, you're somewhat of a celebrity and you are now even more so eligible to get an agent, okay? You don't necessarily need a manager right away. If I had to give advice, I would say, when you think, of course, Bella and Gigi and, Haley Baldwin, they all have agents. They're signed with big modeling agencies. However, these girls pay for PR. PR is public relations. PR is an upfront pay. So you are paying a publicist that has contacts with the news to put your story, pictures, photos, or videos in major news sources. So when you think tabloid PR, so what is tabloid PR? So tabloid PR consists of basically, you think Radar Online, OK, TMZ, Just Jared, what is the other one? Perez Hilton. Those are all tabloid PR. So you would procure a publicist and pay that publicist up front. They do not work on commission. It does not work that way. You pay that publicist up front for them to get you the media placement. Now, you can also get a publicist to help you get placed in places as we talked in the beginning, like Glamour and Vogue and Ellie and, Marie Claire. You pay them up front, they get you the placement. In addition, that's beauty and fashion PR. And then fashion PR can also include Style Week. It can include Fashion Week. It can include having you on the runway. It can include, directions to start a clothing brand. It can also include red carpet PR, where you are on the red carpet, like say, for instance, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a new movie that came out, and he has a red carpet. His publicist put on a red carpet event. Well, you'd be able to walk the carpet at that event, because now you have red carpet PR. So really understanding the differences with an agent, a manager, and a publicist. A publicist helps you get famous, but you have to pay them. You're not big, you're not known, you just because you've been on Model Mayhem or post all your pictures in Facebook groups and have all your pictures on Instagram does not mean that a publicist should work for you for free. It doesn't work that way. You have to pay the publicist up front. A manager, unless, you have some things lined up, I would say get a publicist, find an agent, then get a manager to manage your life. You don't have anything going on for a manager to be managing your life. Now, you can do it however you want to, but I figured I'd do this brief little radio show to kind of break it down for you on how it's done. Feel free to email me if you have any questions on how to, basically, don't even, just put your questions in the, the question box beneath this audio radio show. So, that way I'll see it and I'll answer your question there. That way other people can see it, and have their questions answered as well. And I'll continue to do FYI, but yeah, for your information, as well as FAQs, frequently asked questions on this whole piece. And then in the next segment, the beauty segment, we'll go ahead and we'll go more in depth with PR, and then I'll also be bringing on, models and photographers, not models, but yeah, we'll be talking to models, but we'll be talking to photographers and beauty people from Wilhelmina, from Ford, from Guess, just major people that can also answer some of your questions and advise you as well. So thank you for chilling out with us today, people. This is Kbuty 71.1 FM Beauty Radio, America's #1 beauty radio show. This is your guest, this is your host, not your guest, this is your host, Kimberly Jessica, reporting in live on a rainy night in Hollywood, California. Thanks for listening in, folks, and have a great evening.